everybody, it's Lauren from RVA's Very Own Society, and welcome to Tyrant's legendary walkthrough of Halo Wars. Now for Tyrant's final mission...
Thank God!
We have escape. Exactly what I can't wait to do 5 minutes from now.
And thank you for saying that out loud.
Say that out loud? Okay, well, y'all know the drill. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching, because it's been real. It's been fun. But it hasn't been real fun.
By the way, do you know where your car keys are?
Gentlemen, we're burning sunshine here!
It's active!
Sergeant. Lieutenant? Take care of those elites. He's mine. Let's go.
Like the rest of your race, weak and undisciplined. There will be no female to save you this time.
Look me in the eye and say that.
As you wish. My face will be the last thing your pathetic eyes ever see.
And for the record, I would have kicked your ass the first time if the lady hadn't stopped me.
Sir, it's already overheating. I'll have to separate the core and align them manually when they need to blow.
Son, I have a feeling before this is over, we'll need every last Spartan in the fight. I can do this. Report back to the ship.
Good luck, sir. It's been an honor.
Captain, the exit passage has been sealed. Our escape is blocked.
Ground teams, find a way to open that portal or we're all dead.
The portal has 6 doors. You'll need to open them in the correct order.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tyrant's legendary walkthrough for Halo Wars. Today we're doing the 15th and final mission of the game, entitled Escape. Maybe we can finally escape this wretched game together. So first you start out with 3 Spartans and a small base. Now I consider this mission to be one of the more difficult ones in the game, almost as difficult as Arcadia City and Arcadia Outskirts. Unlike the other missions, To beat it, it's not just about destroying the other bases, even though you probably should. There's this portal right in the center of the map, and it does take, well, let me back up a little bit. So it is being sealed by 6 interlocks. You have to open these in pairs in a specific order in order for the portal to unlock for you. Now it sounds pretty easy, but unfortunately the portal is surrounded by Covenant and Flood alike, with sentinels coming out from the middle. Now fortunately you have a supply pad already built on either side of your base. My recommendation is you take troops to each of these to help boost your stats immediately. Do not waste any time in upgrading your base. You're going to start out with mainly supply pads and reactors. Your main focus here is to get your aerial pad, pretty much like in most missions. Now I've seen this done a lot of different ways. I've seen people go the Cobra / Sparrowhawk route, or Hawk, whatever you want to call it, and that's all well and good. Sparrowhawks are easier to produce. They're basically an upgrade to the Hornet, and they do move around a lot faster, but they don't pack the same punch as the Vultures do. So once again, I am going to try to go the Vulture route. Now typically I like to make my way around the left side of the map, so clockwise. Even though it's slightly less difficult to go on the right side, I try to get the worst opposition out of the way and take the bases as I'm going around. You're going to have mostly Covenant on the left-hand side and Flood on the right. In the middle of the map where the portal is, you're going to see a bunch of Covenant wandering around, including a Scarab. Word of the wise, leave the Scarab alone. There is an achievement if you kill 3 Scarabs, and each time you destroy a Scarab, another one will take its place. For the most part, these Scarabs, not all the time, but for the most part, they'll leave you alone unless you bother them or get too close. So my recommendation first, after you go ahead and capture these 2 supply pads, go ahead and start moving towards the left-hand side. There's a base here that the Covenant tend to expand to first. If you get to it fast enough, it will not be occupied. Even if it is, it won't really have anything attached to it. So take your 3 Spartans here, take it nice and slow. It's primarily guarded by these sniper towers as well as hunters. These hunters are fully upgraded to shoot beam cannons, so be careful there. And both the Covenant and the Flood are going to throw everything they've got at you in this mission. Fortunately, you also have that option. You have pretty much everything available to you, including the Sparrowhawk, if you decide to go that route. You have your Cryo Bomb, your healing ability. You have the Mac Gun, and you also have Carpet Bombing available. You will be using all of them. Now, another thing to note about this mission is it's also timed once you reach a certain point. It gives you about half an hour. I've seen some people do it faster than that. That's pretty cool. But a lot of this mission seems to be a little bit luck-based. I'm not going to say all of it is, but, you know, depends on where the Covenant attack you. Sometimes you'll be attacked by a Scarab, sometimes you won't. And those little things like that can be real game changers.
Forge the cutter. I'm beginning my ascent. Estimate 30 minutes to the detonation site.
Now, once Forge makes his mark right there, that's when the countdown timer will begin. That is all the time you have to complete this mission. Again, you do not have to destroy everything. It's recommended that you do. But you do need to just unlock all 6 of those interlocks in the correct order to get that portal unlocked, which will effectively end the mission. Now, each of the interlocks is surrounded by enemy troops, some Covenant, some Flood. You will need to destroy all enemies surrounding the interlocks in order to be able to activate it.
Supply pad complete.
I find the locusts here to be the most annoying part of it. They are the building killers and they can shoot from a distance. Basically like mini scarabs.
Watch out. Several large Covenant
So there's the first scarab. As you can see, he's going around and destroying Flood. They'll also attack the sentinels that are coming out of the middle. So like I said, if you keep away from them, generally you won't have to worry about the scarab. But occasionally it does wander off the platform and will start attacking your bases. This is another reason why I choose to go the Vulture route instead of the Sparrowhawk route, simply because they're more equipped to dealing with scarabs than Sparrowhawks are. Sparrowhawks are fast, and they do pack quite a punch, but they're still not as powerful as the Vultures, especially when you have bombardment, or the Mega Barrage, I think is what they call it for the Vultures. Now, as soon as you destroy this base right here, we're going to use this as our forefront for getting our air supply pad, or our air pad and field armory up and running, as well as additional supply pads. You do want to make sure that in your other base you have both of your reactors upgraded to give you a total of 4 units.
I see it. I'm on it.
Now at this point I wouldn't recommend advancing too much until you've got your Vultures up and running.
I got him. Too easy.
Right now it's about holding the line. Your first base is going to be more difficult because you don't really have any units over there at the time. Your only real defense is going to be the turrets that you install. All of your offensive units are going to be built at this base, and you can send Vultures back over there to help defend in dire situations, which is recommended, and that goes for your Spartans too. So do make sure that you keep things healed as much as you possibly can. Your Spartans are going to be very vital to at least the first part of this mission until you get your Vultures up and running. They're going to be your main defense. And again, make sure not only are your reactors upgraded here, but also your supply pads. Now, I do apologize for not really posting anything the last week. I was in a very, very bad motorcycle accident last Thursday. I have a broken leg, a broken thumb, some stitches in my right eye, and a torn ligament in my neck, so I'm going to be in a wheelchair for the next 2 months. But I am going to try to get content out to you as best I can. Obviously, I can't really do much else other than that, because I'm sort of wheelchair bound and stuck at home. Haven't gotten cabin fever yet, but hopefully it will never settle in. As long as I have my video games, everything's fine and everyone will live! Okay, so go ahead and upgrade these bases as well. Now, here's where micromanaging really does start coming into play. You have to really watch these 2 bases. It's sort of random what attacks where. I've noticed that Vultures tend to attack the base over here on the right-hand side, your first base, or your alpha base. Now, cryo weapons are very, very useful against all enemy flight vehicles, or airborne vehicles. And this goes double for Sentinels. For all other vehicles, it will slow them down. That goes for units too. I don't like using powerful weapons like that to destroy single units, but again, we really don't have much of defense at that base at this point. So do what you gotta do. I tend to keep the Spartans closer to this base.
I'll get it.
As you can see, we already lost that base right there. Do not let it linger for too long, otherwise the Covenant will start building there once again. I like to use flame mortars, whatever they're called, for that first base right there, and it's not always a bad idea for the second base either. Even though vampires tend to attack that first base, I see a lot of wraiths and locusts around that area as well. Now, your turrets will not be able to reach locusts if they are at their maximum range, but you can lure them closer by getting a unit out there. Especially if you have an airborne unit, you can sort of kite it to your base. See, we're already starting to lose right here, so I'm trying to keep them at bay. The only reason I decided to hijack that Wraith was to give us a little bit more armor right here. Something to distract the Covenant so we can at least get this base up and running. Getting this base up and running and getting your air pad going is really the critical point here. The faster you do this, the easier it's going to be to take down this mission. The longer it takes you to maintain these 2 bases, the harder it's going to be to win.
Regenerate healing targets.
Local units.
So as you can see, I'm not really trying to go on the offensive at this point. I just want to get these bases up and running. If you look a little bit to the north, and what the hell is that Spartan doing out there? Come on.
On the move.
What, are you trying to get yourself killed? Is your name secretly Cat? Now, if you look just to the north, you can see on our little mini-map, there's a massive Covenant up there. Generally speaking, they're just going to sort of hang around. They won't attack right away. I don't know what their deal is. Maybe they're just protecting their other base. There is a larger Covenant base just to the north of our secondary base, which we will be taking over shortly. We're going to be using vultures for that.
Field armory complete.
I'm going to start upgrading these turrets as well. See, we got our locusts and wraiths. It's a pretty formidable force, so don't try anything stupid. I'm going to see if I can carpet bomb these guys just so I can get the locusts out of the equation. Those are your building killers. Those are the ones you really want out. We're going to save the cryo bomb for anything that is in the air. Do not activate that interlock quite yet. Like I said, you want to do this in a specific order. The pairs are usually right across from each other. The first one you're going to want to activate is in front of your first base, and then right across from that is its twin. So you want to activate those two first, and then I guess move counterclockwise to get the others activated or deactivated, however you want to look at it. On the wagon, off the wagon. I don't know. I'm not an alcoholic. Alcoholics go to meetings. I'm a drunk. No, I'm just kidding. So right now we're just going to focus our units, trying to get these small little battles under control. Keep an eye on your mini-map. Make sure that your other base isn't getting attacked, because you do have a lot of supplies there. Do not be selfish with your healing ability. Make sure you use it every chance you get, especially with your Spartans. If you notice that one of your bases has taken a lot of damage, use it there as well. A reason to have the turrets up and running, if for anything, is to keep the Covenant off of your actual base. Now right there I used the cryo bomb just to slow these guys down for a few minutes so I could get some reinforcements over there. Because really we've got nothing. All of our super weapons are recharging at this point. I feel kind of hopeless right now. So now we're going to start getting these vultures up and running. This will make things a lot easier to maintain. Once we get the vultures up in the air, it'll be easier to defend these two bases and then start going on the offensive a little bit.
Fortress upgrade complete. All units.
So now we're going to start getting our reinforcements over there. That locust is going to be our top priority just because it is the building killer. As you can see, we already lost one of our upgraded reactors, which brings us down to 2. Never a good thing. Come on, guys. And there's the scarab. Now my Spartans are doing something really stupid here. Instead of going the obvious route, which is around the portal, they're going through it. Way to go, Ensemble. Way to go. Clap slowly. Now, as you can see, the Scarab is not chasing the other two Spartans. Basically, anything that came within range to it is what it's attacking. Sometimes it'll wander too close to a base and attack the base, but generally speaking, you won't have a lot to worry about in that area. Don't hesitate to start building up your turrets again, just to get the Locust and the Wraith from not firing at your actual base. We're going to try to save this as best we can. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to use the carpet bomb because the Wraith is almost dead and the Locust has already been taken out. And here come the Sentinels. Great. This can be a rather frustrating mission just because you do have to do a lot of micromanaging. Both your bases are going to get attacked. It's difficult to just focus on one, unfortunately. So we're going to start building up the reactors again, as well as our supply pads. I'm not really that concerned when a supply pad gets destroyed, especially since we have the extra ones around the base. But when one of your reactors gets destroyed, that means that you lose the ability to build certain objects. Like vultures, for example.
Turret complete.
Forge here. I'm at the access point to the sun. We'll need some time to break through.
Alright, well unfortunately we've already lost a third of our time here. We're already down to less than 20 minutes. So we'll need to start speeding this up. Again, just try to stay away from the scarab as best you can. It's like a bee. Typically, it'll leave you alone if you leave it alone. Whenever you see something getting fired upon by a locust, just go ahead and take the vulture, in this case the vulture, back closer to the base and start building up turrets. You do not want your vultures to take a hit, because if they go down, it takes a lot longer to build a vulture than it does other vehicles. Not to mention, it is expensive. Now, at this point, you should be pretty good on money. We have a lot of supply pads there. I tend to make locusts my top priority when I'm firing on something, just because they are so devastating to bases, and you do not want to have to rebuild a base if you can avoid it.
Turret complete.
On the way.
So we got another vampire right there. I'm going to wait till this... Let's say Sentinel's closer. That did take care of the vampire, fortunately. And vampires don't seem to show up that often, but they do seem to attack this base more than the secondary base. But once you have the Covenant side, for the most part, taken care of, the rest of the mission is not that difficult. That's why I'm usually going for this first.
Reactor improved.
Okay, so now we're at full capacity with reactors. Go ahead and start building up your vultures again. When you get a chance, go ahead and upgrade to the Mega Barrage. You will need that.
Complete. More resources required.
Also going to want to upgrade to your maximum population. Get about 8 vultures out there if you can. It will take a little bit of time. You will not need all 8 vultures, especially when it comes to taking on the next base, but the more you have in the air, the better. That way, if one gets shot down, you are not crippled. You can still continue with the mission without having to just stop. The more you pause, the harder it gets. And again, at this point, we're almost at 50% of the time remaining. We're almost down to 15 minutes. So we are starting to run out of daylight. We are burning sunlight, people. Although I think the sunlight is burning us. Oh, it's so tempting to hit that. Touch the button. Caress the button. Nope, gotta wait.
Local units.
So far, we've only got 1 down. Yay. 1 out of 6. Now, it does go a lot faster once you've started advancing around the portal, so it should be okay. Just because we've already lost half our time and only unlocked 1 of the doors doesn't mean we're screwed. We are so screwed.
Reinforcements research.
Okay, so I'm going to concentrate on flame mortars here for ground troops. You're going to be facing a lot more ground troops here than you will airborne units. Going to take that Mega Barrage next, and then at that point we're going to start advancing to the north. Since we are so low on time, it is important that we start getting up there a little bit. Turtling in has been nice so far, but again, it's still just micromanaging at this point. If you start advancing outwards, they will concentrate less on your base. Because you know all about that base. That was corny, I know. Shut up. My colleagues are making fun of me right now. And so is the interwebs. No treble. Okay, so we have our population cap. That's good.
Ready at maximum population.
So now we're going to concentrate on building all vultures. These guys aren't causing us too much trouble. They're too focused on the sentinels in the center of the portal. Good.
Vulture, loaded up.
Okay, focus on that Mega Barrage. We're going to need that next.
Local units.
Spinning up Mac rounds. Mac on target.
Let's do
Here it
a
comes.
carpet bomb right there, too.
Bombing run aborted.
Local units.
Unleashing hell.
Actually, our vultures should be able to handle it just fine. Seems pretty distracted at the moment. So now we have enough vultures in the air that our base is going to be fairly protected. But remember to heal your vultures after they're done. Don't let them just sit around and take damage if you can help it. I've noticed that with these particular sniper towers, whenever you occupy one or one is occupied by the Covenant, it does activate some sort of barrier. That's kind of cool. Doesn't really do a lot of good, but, well, you know. I guess it keeps things from going in or coming at you in multiple directions. I guess that's worth something. Alright, so we're going to try to avoid the Scarab for now. So stay on the outskirts of the map as best you can, unless the Scarab starts attacking your base.
Local units.
Because he's all about that base, Or she. I don't know.
Local units.
Well, I mean, all the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were female, so maybe all the Covenant are too. Who knows? Although I'm pretty sure the Arbiter's a guy. Well, look at the aliens of The Simpsons. They sound like guys, but they're girls. Kang and Kodos. Oh, I love that show. Okay, so we got sniper jackals right there. How can they have beam rifles and shields? That makes no sense to me.
A large Covenant base west of the portal.
Thank you, Princess Obvious. So this is going to be the biggest Covenant base on the map. Obviously, it's guarded by shields, and there's quite a number of units over there just to the right of it as well. Once you take this out and start building a base here, it'll be a lot easier to advance. This is sort of the, I guess, apex of the battle right here for the missions. So once this one's destroyed, you should be in pretty good shape. Now notice that even though we're attacking that base, the Covenant are not paying any attention at all. So we're going to go ahead and take care of this locust right here. Okay, we're in good shape there. We actually did manage to save that supply pad. Excellent. We've got plenty of money at the moment, so we're going to go ahead and build up those turrets, see if we can get those jackal snipers taken out. They are the bane of my existence, both in Halo Wars and in the rest of the franchise. So as soon as that's ready, we're going to go ahead and drop a base right there. At the very least, not necessarily because we're going to utilize it, but just to keep the Covenant from building their own base.
Let's ice them. Ice out.
Local units.
Covenant forces will be at Forge's position in approximately 10 minutes.
Great. Okay, so we have about 10 minutes left. We're really kind of cutting it close on time here. We really need to speed things up, otherwise we do lose. And I don't like to lose. Tyrant does not lose.
We can't let them leave with those ships.
Except when he doesn't win.
Good luck, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Turret complete.
Alright, so we're going to see if we can stop these guys real quick.
Firebase ready.
Start maintaining this base right here. Okay, we're going to start building supply pads. You can always use more supply pads. Really, you don't need more aerial unit or aerial pads or anything like that.
Station upgrade complete.
You already have the one. You should have 8 vultures up at this point, which is the most that you need. I think it's the most you can get. And they should last you the rest of the mission, especially if you've already taken out this Covenant base. For the most part, your main opposition here is going to be Flood and Sentinels. And also there is still that Scarab that's roaming around the center of the portal, so watch out for him as well.
Supply pad complete.
Go ahead and try to build this one up as much as we can. I do not expect it to last, especially if the Scarab starts going on the offensive closer to the end of the mission. But it is one more thing to distract it from the rest of your troops. Right now we're more concerned with just going around to each interlock and destroying everything we come across. You do not need to send a unit to the particular interlock, you just need to make sure all the enemies around it have been destroyed.
Local units. Supply pad complete.
Going there now. Roger that.
So we're just going to start making our way around over here.
Engagement.
Because you have a large force of vultures in the air, not much can really stand up to you at this point, even a scarab. Now there is a mega plasma turret over there on the left hand side that you can commandeer, but you will waste a Spartan if you do that, and at this point in time there's really not much use for it anymore.
Supply pad complete.
I mean, I guess you could use it to go up against this base, but there's really not much to it. And since you already have 8 vultures,
Local unit.
in the time it would take you to get a Spartan up there to commandeer that mega plasma turret, you're just going to go ahead and lay waste to it anyway. So, and I don't think it fires automatically. I think you have to manually fire it each and every time. So that base fell pretty quick.
Yes, sir.
Supply pad complete.
On the way.
So pretty much from here on out, it's just flood and sentinels.
Vulture inbound.
And here come the flood swarms. Things are getting nasty.
Turret complete.
Now we're really starting to cut it close on time. We're down to about 7 minutes now, so we really need to speed things up. We are almost all the way around the portal. Again, don't hesitate to build the bases wherever there's one available, just to keep the Covenant from building bases there in place of yours,
Local units.
and thereby increasing their opposition. Now that's the next interlock that we want to activate, this one right here. Okay, so our first pair is down.
We got him. Take him.
That's it. The doors are pairs. You need to activate both doors of a set to open them.
Okay, so we have 2 down, 4 to go, or 1 pair down, 2 pairs to go, depending on how you want to look at it.
Vulture engaging. We got him.
Now I'm kind of keeping a loose eye on our other 3 bases. I can see our one over there to the far west is getting attacked. But I'm really not that concerned at this point. Don't worry too much about your bases. Focus on clearing out these interlocks. Again, we're down to 6 minutes now, so we don't have a lot of time to mess around anymore.
We are detecting movement coming from the east side of the portal. Possible large alien infection.
No. And keep in mind the flood do eventually come back to life, so be quick about this. You don't want to have to go back and clean up flood that you've already destroyed.
Mopping him up. We got him. Good is done. Mopping him up. We're engaging.
We are almost all the way around. Go ahead and take the bases as you can. I don't think that one's going to last very long. I just saw a bunch of flood approaching over there from the east. Yeah, that's not going to last.
Vulture inbound. On the way.
But that's okay because we're not here to build more bases. Just, like I said, occupy the space.
Base under
Keep
attack.
enemies from building their own bases there. That's all we're trying to do at this point.
Enemy engagement.
Okay, so we are at least somewhat good off.
Got him. Regeneration
Go ahead and
ready.
heal.
Healing targets.
You want to keep these guys alive as long as you can because they are your last hope. If they fall now with only 5 minutes to go, you will lose the mission. So now we've really got to speed things up here.
Local units.
Now the only reason I'm upgrading these bases at all is to make them more difficult to destroy. Try to keep eyes off your vulture armada here.
Enemy engagement.
So that's our next interlock right there.
Vulture attacking.
And once you've reached that one, you should be pretty good to go. You can activate the rest of them.
Destroyed.
That's the hardest one right there in my opinion, or at least once you're this far into it. Looks like one of our bases has been destroyed. Not that big of a deal.
Base under attack. Local units.
Looks like the Covenant, the Flood, and the Sentinels are going all out now because they realize what you're doing.
A base has been destroyed.
Uh-oh. That's 2 bases.
Base under attack. Local units.
So things are really getting down to the wire here. We got 4 minutes to go. They are annihilating our bases.
Complete.
We just got to destroy the Flood around this interlock here. We'll have another one that we can use. Or at least deactivate. Clock is definitely ticking here. We got to speed things up. Starting a little get a little bit nervous.
Local units.
I have gotten to a point here before where I had maybe like, if I had had 20 more seconds on the clock, I would have been able to do it. So I definitely do not want that to happen again this time.
Another interlock is down.
Okay, so now see if we can activate this pair. Don't know what's taking it so long. Probably the sentinels right there.
Give me a target.
Alright. Send a vulture over here.
Firebase ready. All units. Local
Let's get the
units.
Spartans over here. Leave the vultures over there because we're probably going to need them to clear out the extra flood that have respawned.
On the way.
Only got less than 3 minutes left. Alright, cryobomb these sentinels right here. Get that opposition out of the way. Works like a charm every time. They're already starting to retreat. Hopefully we can go ahead. Oh, there's the arrow. Just make sure these Spartans can at least guard it for a little while. 2.5 minutes to go. Come on, guys. We are down to the wire here. Alright, so this is going to take care of the second pair. So we have 4 down, 2 to go. Or 2 down, 1 to go, depending on how you want to look at it. So we also managed to kill 1 scarab.
Local units.
There is an achievement for killing 3, but we're not going that route. We only have 2 minutes left. We have to really speed this thing up.
Base under attack.
So as you can see, the flood are starting to respawn again. We have to take them out. You're almost there. There we go. Okay, go ahead and activate this one. We have 1 more. Can we do it? Yes. And there you go. With only 1:30 to spare, that is the final mission of the game, Mission 15, Escape on Legendary. Mission is complete. I know we probably did a bad job as far as the medal system goes, but that is how you beat it on Legendary. I hope you guys enjoyed this, as well as my Halo Wars Legendary walkthrough altogether. You can see all 15 missions on this channel, and I will be uploading a full campaign and cutscenes video for those who do not like the narration. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned every week for more videos. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'm the Tyrant, signing off.
Hangar Bay reports all crews checked in.
Then let's not outstay our welcome. Best speed away.
Captain, the gravity field from the sun is expanding. We're not going anywhere.
Let's see if we can't turn that to our advantage. Serena, plot a course that takes us into the sun. We're going to slingshot around it.
Threading a needle while accelerating around an exploding star inside a planet that's falling apart? Well, sure. Why not?
Serena, can you do it?
It's done. You might want to hold on to something. Closing your eyes might help too.
Captain, I would much rather stay awake to monitor this area.
Professor, there's been no sign of the Covenant for almost 2 weeks. There's nothing to do.
But Captain...
But nothing, Professor. You got us all out of there alive. Get some rest.
Not all of us, Captain. Not all of us.